Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. You can give us a call tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number. Paul Zeise is joining me here tonight, and we're talking about the Steelers getting a little bit healthier. Juju Smith-Schuster potentially back this week. He practiced. It was a full go today at practice, which is a great sign. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but you know, arrows pointing up for Juju. James Conner not on the injury report anymore, so obviously he's going to play, and maybe we'll get more carries. We will hear from Randy Fichtner coming up at 11 o'clock, talking about the running back by committee approach, what he seems to like, but maybe isn't good for a guy like James Conner, Paul, because Conner wants to get into a rhythm. He wants the bulk of the carries. That's what Le'Veon Bell did here. And, you know, I bet you the Steelers wish they had Le'Veon Bell right now. Yeah, I said this the other day. If they had Le'Veon Bell, it'd probably be a better team. I mean, they would probably be a better offense, and they would be in a better place, but they don't. It'll be interesting now, week 2 back with James Conner. You know, he got his feet wet last week and got back into the flow of it, got hit a few times. You would hope now with another week that they would maybe say, okay, we're going to strip away a bunch of carries from these other guys and give James Conner 15 to 20 carries or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever the load is. Give Snell a few in short yardage and maybe Jalen Samuels and some of those 3rd and 5 type things. But for the most part, stick to those 3 guys. Conner gets the most carries, and then see what happens. I would love if they would do that, but they seem to have. It's like the toy department for them. They seem to want to just like prove that they can, you know, use 19 different guys and keep putting them all in there. I think it was Dave Wanstedt that said this the first time he ever said this, was when a guy was out, you know what I mean, and you know they weren't quite as good and this and that and everything, and people were asking about it. He said, you know, there's a reason that this guy's a starter because he's better than the other guys, and when this guy's healthy, we're not going to play the other guys because he's the best guy we got. I wish the Steelers would adopt that philosophy on offense. Well, I think they did adopt it. Mike Tomlin definitely adopted it, right? He liked the one running back kind of guy when people were pushing for this year. Oh, well, this year. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, to me, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, James Conner should be in every single formation, every single, you know what I mean? Just about, you know, if they tap out and they need a break, give them a couple, you know. Yeah, no reason to bring Tevin Jones or Deion Kane in on a 4th down play. Tevin Jones is no longer here. He's no longer with the team, but what's the kid that they brought up now for the practice? Darba. Yeah, Darba. No offense, sounds like a nice kid. He should 3rd round draft pick. Unless you're in 5 wides, there's no reason he should ever be in the game this week. Yeah, they'll potentially get Vance McDonald back. Here's the one thing that I'll be watching. I think everyone's going to be paying attention to Devlin Hodges. I mean, at what point? Does he have a short leash? I like that he's going to give him another chance, but I think this would be his final chance, kind of like Mason Rudolph during that Bengals game, that they might pull him at halftime if he has a bad game, right? Is that what you would do? Or would you say, hey, it's your game no matter what? Well, no, I think clearly, you know, if the model is what they did with Mason Rudolph. Yeah. I mean, I would say this, if they're down 10-0 at halftime and the offense is stagnant and he's thrown an interception, I could see them making a change. I think they should. They got to win this game. You got to do whatever you can to win. Yeah, I mean, so I don't think it's necessarily the case that he's going to be able to finish the game, but by the same token, if he comes out and plays okay and they decide it's not his fault, or they decide that he's doing okay and, you know, that there's other things going on, they're probably going to give him a little longer leash than you and I would. Yeah. Just because, you know, it's in their best interest to have the guy that started the game finish it. But I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of interesting to me. Yeah, well, I like the running back by committee approach. Going back to that, Randy Fichtner seems to like it. I don't think they necessarily have a #1 guy right now. James Conner is the closest as they have. They don't have a Le'Veon Bell. So you see the Patriots did it with 3 different guys. The Eagles won a Super Bowl that way. I like that model. I think it works. And I would like to see White get some carries too. You brought up the other guys, but I would like to see White in the mix. I mean, I would imagine this week you might not see a Trey Edmonds.
he could be the odd man out.
Yeah, I mean, again, they dressed 5 last week. I don't know why they did.
Well, yeah, now Vance McDonald's back, so we'll see what happens and how that impacts it.
Exactly.
That would probably hurt Gentry, but you know, I would imagine maybe Isaiah Buggs is going to play. That's who that's who they sat. So, all right, we're taking a break. Back with more of your phone calls, 412-575-2600. You can also send me some tweets at Richie Walsh, at Paul Zeise. Back in a couple minutes on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.